Alrighty, folks, it's about that time. Good morning. Welcome to the March webinar. This will be our agenda for today. We'll have Kylie talk to us about CEP and renewal, and then we'll hear from Kala regarding the NSW annual training dates and as well as Provision 2. And then we'll hear from Brian regarding MPFRT and meal prices. And then we'll hear from Marianne regarding the Sun program reminders and rural non-congregate grants. And then Kendall will be providing the USDA foods update. And then Pamela, we'll hear from Pamela regarding fresh fruit and vegetable program, farm to school, literacy from the lunchroom, spotlight on local, and then spring eats. And then that is the date for our next webinar. So without further ado, I hand the floor over to Kylie. Kylie?
Thanks, Alex. Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started today with CEP. The April 1st data is coming up for CEP, so I'm going to talk to that. You can go to the next slide, Alex. So just a reminder that April 1st data collection for CEP is coming up. So in order to qualify for CEP, you have to have a 25% identified student percentage based on your DC list. So this is based on your DC list, your extended benefits, McKinney-Vento, FDPIR. So if you're interested in seeing if you qualify for CEP, you can discuss that with you can reach out to the NSLP team. Cassandra Thompson is also our point person for CEP if you have any more questions. So just make sure you know how to pull an enrollment list prior to April 1st. A broadcast email went out yesterday to districts who have at least one school that may be eligible for CEP. So just a reminder to obtain your April 1st data. And then Lynda wants to remind you Medicaid reduced does not count in the CEP data. And then you can go to the next slide, Alex. And then I am going to also talk to you about renewal since that is coming up. Next slide, please, Alex. So the school year 26-27 renewal opens in late April. So NSLP annual renewal opens April 20th. So we'll be sending out instructions here pretty soon. So just make sure you're prepared for that. So here's some considerations to take into account. Your operating dates and times for your breakfast and lunch. Adult meals are going to be a minimum of $5.30 at lunch, $3.10 at breakfast. The PLE tool is not yet released, but plan on a minimum 10-cent increase. If you're going to be doing any special provisions, such as Provision 2, CEP, all your vended meal contracts, and your health inspection report and requests. So just make sure you have that ready for annual renewal. And that is all I have today.
Thanks so much, Kylie. All right, and we'll hear from Kala regarding the NSLP training dates. Kala?
Thanks, Alex. You can go ahead and go to the next slide, please. All right, everyone. So here is our list of NSLP annual mandatory training dates. We're doing something a little bit different this year. I know we've done it in the past, but we are going actually to be doing a pre-conference day at ISNA this year. ISNA is taking place in Idaho Falls the week of June 16th. So we will do our annual mandatory training June 16th in Idaho Falls, the day before ISNA's conference starts. So that will be our only Idaho Falls date. We won't go back there later, but that one will cover that Idaho Falls area. Next on the list, we have our Boise one on July 21st. We'll be in Lewiston on August 4th, Pocatello on August 4th, Coeur d'Alene on August 5th, Twin Falls on August 5th, and then back in Boise for our final one on August 6th. Alex, if you want to go to the next slide, please. And then for our RCCIs, we will be doing our RCCI specific annual mandatory training in Boise on July 22nd. You can go ahead and go to that next slide, Alex. Provision 2. Okay, so go ahead and go to the next slide for me as well. Excuse me. If you guys are currently in a Provision 2 cycle, please follow any email instructions that you might receive from Jessica Madrano. She is an NSLP coordinator and our point person for Provision 2. If you're on your 4th year of your cycle, that means, be aware that your cycle is expiring and an email will be sent out with instructions on renewing your Provision 2 base year. If you are considering starting Provision 2 for any of your schools in school year 26-27, give Jessica a call or an email. She'd be happy to talk to you about what that looks like, about getting P2 going in your district, and to give you good talking points to discuss with your administration to plan ahead and discussing fiscal viability for Provision 2. Alex, you can go to the next one. I'm also going to talk quickly on some updates from our friends at Dairy West. Alex, if you want to go to the next slide, please. They wanted us to share some of the school nutrition standards that are changing and the Smart Swaps website that might have some resources for you guys. So Smart Swaps is a school nutrition professionals platform to help meet meal pattern standards with easy to use resources, recipes, everything that you might need to support your guys' program. So you can see some of the key features listed below. They've got some recipes, nutrient analysis and crediting components, photo guide for the recipes, sample menus, and some training resources as well. There is a link in these slides. It's smartswaps.com to learn more about those. If you want to go to the next slide, please, Alex. And then I think we mentioned this on the last webinar, but Elevate, the School Nutrition Academy, or Elevate Academy Summit, I guess, for Dairy West will be taking place on October 13th this year at the ISNA Vendor Show. This will be taking place at the Riverside Hotel in Garden City. And some of you might be familiar with Chef Brenda Waddle. She'll be the guest speaker for the Elevate School Nutrition Summit. So mark your calendars if you guys are going to attend the ISNA Vendor Show. This will be a part of it as well. And then here is Dina's contact information. She's a great resource for anything you guys need from Dairy West. So go ahead and shoot her an email if you need something from Dairy West specifically.
Thanks so much, Cal. All right, and we'll hear from Brian regarding MPFRT. Brian?
So MPFRT is the nonprofit food revenue tool. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Non-program foods are any food and beverage that are not part of your reimbursable meal. So this includes your a la carte items like entrees, side, milks, or any items included on the daily menu. Not included on the daily menu, I'm sorry. Your adult meals, second meals also count as NPFRT foods. Catering, vending, and then food and beverages purchased for others, such as food fundraising or vending machines. Go ahead and go to the next slide. When it comes to completing the NIPFRIT, which is what we like to call it, the SFAs may utilize a simplified approach in calculating percentages that allow SFAs to separate their non-program food costs from their program food costs for a period of at least one school week. We don't require that you go through and analyze the entire year of menus, just a single week that we're doing the review, and that's sufficient for us and the USDA. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Here's what the alternate assessment is for those that are only serving a la carte meals or adult meals. That way you don't have to go through all of the NIPFRIT. You can just do milk and adult meals, and this will tell you whether or not you're in compliance. Next slide. Sales tax is not assessed on school lunch due to Idaho Code 633622J and Sales Tax Rule 41. However, non-program foods are subject to sales tax. So anything that's vended, adult meals, those a la carte items, those are all going to be assessed sales tax. Next slide. Great. Moving on to meal prices, the PLE tool. Next slide. So student paid lunch, you're going to have to increase by about 10 cents. And then adult meals are looking at $3.10 for breakfast and $5.30 for lunch for this upcoming year. Talk to your business manager. This may need to go to your board. If you're increasing prices by more than 5%, you're going to have to go through a process where you're going to have a board meeting. You're going to release a statement saying that you plan on raising your prices. And then after you've done this and gotten input from the public, then you're finally able to raise your prices. Next slide. That's it.
All right, well, thank you so much, Brian. And then now we'll hear from Marianne regarding some program reminders. Marianne?
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Go ahead, next slide. Good morning, everyone. So for the next couple of sections we have, I want to just highlight this for the first one is for our summer food sponsors. So for SFSP, as a reminder, your due date for your renewal packet is May 1st, 2026. I did put in the chat box right after Kylie mentioned NSLP renewal packet. For the SFSP sponsors, please be sure to complete your SFSP packet first before starting your NSLP, or at least completing your NSLP packet, just to make sure we can get that out of the way before you begin your summer food operation. And then also for anyone who is doing field trips, be sure to add your field trip dates once you know those in your renewal packet. And if you need any assistance, please let me know, or Dominique know if she is assigned to your packet. We'd be more than happy to do a Zoom meeting so we can share screens and show you how to complete that. Next slide. For the summer food sponsors as well, during our sponsor training, you all received information where the summer food renewal packet instruction is located. That is under our SFSP OneDrive folder under the training portal. So it is one of those green tiles. And then also it was sent out as a broadcast email to summer food sponsors as part of our welcome back to the 2026 operation of SFSP. Next slide, please. And then the next few slides, I do just want to highlight and remind everyone under SFSP, we are falling under the SFSP menu requirement. And so that is different than your NSLP meal pattern as well as the CACFP meal pattern. In your screen right now is the summer breakfast meal pattern. If you are doing a unitized meal service, you must serve all three components you see in your screen. And as a reminder, for the milk component for summer food, it can be unflavored, flavored, whole, reduced fat, low fat, or fat-free milk. And so the new Whole Kids Healthy Whole Milk Act that came out, that does not pertain to SFSP. And so I wanted to just do that reminder for the milk component under summer food. So this is for your breakfast meal pattern. The next slide, Alex. This meal pattern will be for your lunch or supper meal pattern. And again, as a reminder, if you are doing unitized meal service operation, you must serve all four components. And this is where it differs from NSLP to CACFP. The fruit and vegetable component is under one component compared to the other child nutrition programs. And so I wanted to just highlight that. And then again, for the meat alternate component, we are working with 2-ounce equivalent of meat alternate. And next slide, Alex. For anyone who is operating either AM or PM snack under SFSP menu, the requirement is 2 of the 4 components you must serve to be a reimbursable snack. So I wanted to just highlight that again for all the sponsors. And next slide. And then lastly, I think for this Sun Meals programs reminder, I went over this during sponsor training, but we have rolled out the new logos for SFSP. It is now formally, or is being called a Summer Nutrition Programs, Sun Meals Program, or Sun Meals to Go program. I put that link in your screen so that you guys can have direct access to the communication toolkit that USDA has provided to state agencies and program operators. Next slide, Alex. Awesome. So for this next section, I wanted to just go over an opportunity, and actually go ahead and go to the next slide, Alex. The state agency is happy to announce this exciting opportunity for summer nutrition program sponsors through the No Kid Hungry Summer Meals Grant for 2026. That's a mouthful. These grants are specifically designed to support school districts and community-based organizations that are operating the summer food service program, particularly in rural communities utilizing non-congregate feeding models like Sun Meals to Go. There is a strong emphasis on expanding access, so this is a great opportunity for sponsors who are looking to grow their program, add new sites, or strengthen their current outreach efforts. The grant amounts will vary depending on the size of your program and demonstrated need, so there isn't a one size fits all amount. This allows for flexibility for both smaller and larger larger sponsors to benefit. Another key point is that applications are reviewed on a rolling basis. So that means that there's an advantage to applying early rather than waiting until later in the process. Lastly, if you're interested or even curious, I encourage you to still use the inquiry link provided in your screen. It's a great first step to learn more, ask questions, and see if this opportunity aligns with your program goals. And I know there's that link right there in your screen, but I'm going to put the hyperlink in the chat box right now. So please feel free to click on that, bookmark it right away into your computer or laptop. And read that over and see if that is something that you are interested in, if you are planning on operating the non-congregate operation for rural communities. Next slide, Alex. So for this slide, it highlights No Kid Hungry's granting priorities, which really helps us understand how the funding decisions are made and where efforts are most needed. At its core, No Kid Hungry is focused on ending child hunger by investing in communities where the need is the greatest and where the opportunity for impact is the highest. Their goal is not just to provide meals, but to really help break the cycle of poverty and remove barriers to food access. When it comes to prioritizing funding, they are looking closely at communities that meet these criteria. So first, communities where at least 60% of students are eligible for free or reduced price meals. This is a key indicator of need. They also prioritize areas experiencing high levels of child hunger and poverty, as well as communities where schools or districts face unique challenges in addressing hunger. This include obviously rural isolation, transportation barriers, or limited infrastructure. Additionally, they also look at communities experiencing extreme economic hardship. So using multiple data points to assess overall need is something that they will take highly in consideration. So really think of it as targeting resources where they can make the biggest difference for kids and families. So if you're interested in learning more, again, the link is on the chat box, and read that over to get additional details on their grant making beliefs and how they prioritize funding, which can be helpful when you are writing your application or your inquiry. Next slide, Alex. This slide outlines some of the key strategies that No Kid Hungry is looking to fund, and you'll notice these are all very aligned with expanding access and strengthening non-congregate meal service, or SUN Meals to Go. First, there's a strong focus on new sponsors, especially those who have not previously operated non-congregate meal service. This also goes for sponsors who did congregate operation last summer, but they would like to do non-congregate operation for summer 2026. This is really about expanding into new areas where there are gaps in service, particularly in rural communities. Second, for existing sponsors, there's opportunity to build on what you're already doing. So this could look like adding new non-congregate sites, extending site hours, increasing the number of meals served, or even adjusting schedules and locations to better meet the community needs. Another important strategy is leveraging non-congregate models that have proven to be effective, such as home deliveries or mobile meal routes. These models are especially impactful in reaching children who may not be able to access traditional sites. And lastly, there is an emphasis on maximizing your program operations, making sure you are serving the maximum allowable number of meals each week and throughout the summer. So this ties directly into both program impact and efficiencies. Overall, these strategies are really about expansion, accessibility, and maximizing reach. So as you're thinking about this opportunity, consider how your program might align with one or more of these areas. Next slide, Alex. This slide is really important because it outlines what will not be funded under this grant, so it can help you avoid spending time on proposals that won't be considered. First, funding will not support maintaining your current program as is. There needs to be a clear focus on expansion or increased impact beyond what was done in summer 2025. So if your proposal doesn't demonstrate growth, it likely won't be competitive. Second, this grant is specifically focused on non-congregate meal service, so it will not fund traditional congregate summer meals operation. It will also not fund efforts to eliminate or reduce student meal debt, as that falls outside the scope of this opportunity. Additionally, funding cannot be used for programs that are not directly tied to federal child nutrition programs. This includes things like school gardens, food pantries, or backpack programs. While all valuable, they are not the focus of this grant. Lastly, capital investments such as large equipment purchases, building upgrades, or cafeteria redesigns are also not allowable under this funding. So overall, the key takeaway here is that this grant is very specifically targeted toward expanding your non-congregate meal service through SFSP or similar programs, not maintaining existing efforts or funding broader food access initiatives. Next slide, Alex. This slide outlines key information you'll need to prepare in order to complete your application, and it's broken out between school districts and community organizations. I will focus on that first column under school districts. You'll need to clearly describe your program objectives along with details about your current and planned summer 2026 nutrition programs. You'll also need to provide contact information or key leadership, including your food service director and superintendent, as well as historical data, such as enrollment and participation in child nutrition programs. A big component is your budget. You'll need to outline how you plan to use the funding during the grant period. And lastly, there is a focus on equity. So you'll be asked to describe strategies your district is using to address and elevate the needs of people of color in your community. I'll go ahead and skip the second column in there. Overall, this application is really about telling a clear data-driven story, who you serve, what you plan to do, and how the funding will expand your impact. And my last slide, or the next slide, Alex, I wanted to include this slide so you can see what the actual grant opportunity looks like directly from the No Kid Hungry webpage. This funding is specifically focused, again, on expanding non-congregate meal service in rural communities, whether through SFSP or SSO operation. A key highlight here is the inquiry due date. Applications are accepted on a rolling basis through May 7th, 2026. So again, earlier is better if you're considering applying. You'll also notice that grant amounts vary, as a reminder, depending on the size of the needs of your program, which allows flexibility for different types of sponsors. At the bottom, you'll see a summary of their granting opportunity or granting priorities, which we just walked through. This reinforces that funding is targeted toward communities with the greatest need and the highest potential for impact. So overall, if your program is looking to expand non-congregate meal service operation, reach more kids, or improve access in rural areas, this could be a really strong opportunity. So I definitely encourage you to at least submit an inquiry and start a conversation. Even if you're unsure, it's a great way to explore whether your program would be a good fit. So with that, if you guys have any questions, please reach out to the Summer Food programs team or put that in the chat box. Again, the link to this page, the inquiry page, is hyperlinked in the chat box for you. Thanks, everyone. That's it for me.
Thanks so much, Marianne. All right, and we'll now hear from Kendall regarding the USDA Foods update. Kendall?
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. We just have a few reminders to go over. So the ordering period for school year 26-27 has been completed, and we are currently working on consolidating, sharing, and ordering trucks. Please remember to fill out the DoD Fresh allocation survey, letting us know how much of your entitlement you want allocated to DoD for school year 26-27. These responses are due by March 20th, so this Friday. Next slide, please. And then we do have some open banks. There are 4 additional further processed items that are available from Cargill to help draw down pounds. So those include an egg bake, an omelet, egg patties, and egg extravaganza. So if you have any funding in your school year 25-26 budget, you can purchase items from your open banks, and that's even if you have not diverted raw pounds to that processor. Next slide, please, Alex. And then lastly, just a reminder for favors receipting. Please remember to receipt your orders and favors within 2 business days of receiving produce, especially before spring break. And I believe that's all I have for reminders today. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kendall. All right, we'll hear from Pamela regarding the fresh fruits and vegetables. Pamela?
Thanks, Alex. Next slide, please. So the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program is completely separate from the USDA's DoD Fresh that Sean just talked about. Remember, the allocation survey is due by March 20th, that's this Friday, and you can find fresh local products there too. Thanks, Grasmick. The Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program provides all children in participating schools with a variety of additional fresh fruits and vegetables throughout the school day. It is an effective and creative way of introducing and reintroducing fresh fruits and vegetables as healthy snack options. It can take at least a dozen presentations for some foodies to get on board with the new food, and that's why and try days are important. The goal of the FFEP is to create healthier school environments by providing healthier food choices. Also to expand the variety of fruits and vegetables children experience, increase children's fruit and vegetable consumption, and make a difference in children's diets to impact their present and future health. This program is seen as an important catalyst for change in efforts to combat childhood obesity by helping children learn more healthful eating habits. The FFEP introduces school children to a variety of produce that they otherwise might not have had the opportunity to sample. And participation in this grant program fulfills some requirements of the wellness policy y'all have to have. That's a topic for a different day. To be selected for the FFEP, a school must be an elementary school, represent the highest percentage of students certified for free and reduced price benefits, participate in NSLP, and complete an annual application for the FFEP, and that will be coming soon. And this is why that IC data Melissa talked about last month is so important. Next slide, please. Fresh coconut meat and USDA Foods Buying Guide. So, although coconuts are technically tree nuts, they are primarily considered a fruit due to their botanical characteristics. To see if this product is allowed in program meals, the first place to check is the USDA's Food Buying Guide to see if the product is available. Next slide, please. A search for coconut returns this. And you can see, well, because fresh coconut credits as a fruit, it can be used in CNP meals. For claiming an FFEP, it would have to be fresh. It would also be great if there were an educational piece to accompany the item as it is so unique. For example, from a first-time eater's perspective, looking at the whole coconut, you would never guess what it looks like inside. A grape, on the other hand, does not produce such a surprise. But keep in mind, where is it coming from? If it's from out of the country, schools still need to document the purchase with the Buy American exception form, but because this is for FFEP, it does not contribute to the 10% cap of the Buy American provision. Next slide, please. Farm school funding, yay. Next slide, please. Okay, first of all, the Chef Ann Foundation, the 2026 grant applications for the Salad Bars to Schools Equipment Grant Program is open. The deadline is March 31st, and the Salad Bars to Schools is a grant program that provides schools and districts with everything needed to implement salad bars effectively as a part of a reimbursable meal. It also supports a journey to more scratch cooking and values-aligned procurement. Salad Bars to Schools program grants K through 12 schools everything needed to install a salad bar, including salad bar equipment and all accessories, marketing, and comprehensive online training course through the School Food Institute. Salad bars help students establish healthy eating habits by increasing access to fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and healthy proteins. They can also help school schools meet environmental sustainability goals by decreasing packaging waste and supporting local farms by serving fresh local food on the salad bar. Salad bars are a great entry point for schools wanting to incorporate more scratch cooking, and this is open to K-12 school districts that participate in the National School Lunch Program with an enrollment of at least 100 students per school site. So keep that in mind if you were wanting to, um, oops, log into that. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys. Just a sec. All right. There you go. Next slide, please. Okay, and remember the Dairy West Power Up Pack grant applications that Dina talked about last month is those applications are due also March 20th, this Friday. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Dina Benson. Her contact information was posted earlier. And remember, dairy is local. Next slide, please. The Value Added Producer Grant is an opportunity to support your community, and supporting farmers is a primary leg of the Farm to School program. The grants support either planning activities like feasibility studies, business marketing plans, or working capital needs. A one-to-one match is required, and the Value Added Producer Grant is part of the Local Agriculture Market Program, an umbrella initiative created under the 2018 Farm Bill. The application deadline is April 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is, if you have farmers in your community, if you know of them, please let them know about this grant. And let me put this link in the chat, but you can go to the next slide, Alex. Thanks. And then this month we're going to do financial literacy from the lunchroom. Next slide, please. So the first book in as the series is Connie the Cow Finds Her Value. It's a heartwarming tale about discovering the worth of your work. When Connie the cow has always produced milk for Farmer Ben, but she never really understood where it went or why it mattered. One curious Saturday, she follows the milk truck to town and discovers something amazing. People trade money for her milk. They use it to bake bread, feed their children, and grow strong. For the first time, Connie understands that her work has real value. But when a shiny new milking machine arrives at the farm, Connie worries she might not be needed anymore. With wisdom from her friend, Henry the Hen, Connie learns that taking pride in your work and focusing on quality makes you truly valuable. No machine can replace that. Next slide, please. And then this is a favorite about supporting local farmers and financial literacy. According to the 2023 Farm to School Census, almost 75% of the school food authorities reported participating in farm to school activities. And school districts who engaged in farm to school activities said they enjoy positive impacts, including increased support from parents and community members, improved acceptance of and participation in school meals, lower school meal program costs, and less plate waste. Farm to School gives schools and other child nutrition program operators local control and flexibility to offer seasonally available, regionally produced foods on their menu, often sourced directly from local farmers. And this is a video that I'm not going to play, but I'm going to put the link to it in the chat as well. Next slide, please. There you go. And then remember, NSLP is a business enterprise. You're running a business with federal program funding as authorized or not by the state legislature. So this is a picture of Gooding's food truck, which is also used in the summer food program that Marianne talked about earlier. When you bring local foods into your meals, you support your own community. Our friends at Whistle Farms posted recently that fuel and fertilizer costs are higher than ever for farmers right now. If you're able, support your local farmers by including local foods in your meals. You can also support them by visiting farm stands, farmers markets, or even joining a CSA, a community-supported agriculture. You can find those on the Idaho Department of Agriculture's Idaho Preferred website. Every bit helps, especially during these critical pre-harvest months. Next slide, please. Farm to School Spotlight on Local. Next slide, please. So this is the Hydroponic Gardens New Life. Basin School District was a recipient of a Farm to School hydroponic garden grant a year ago and received 2 hydroponic gardens. Just last month, when our team was out on review, these flyers were posted all over the school. They're having a garden. They're dedicating the hydroponic gardens to the garden club, and the Farm to School program grants legacy continues beyond the lunchroom. Next slide, please. And then the School Garden Support Organization Network has created a national school garden map. You can see where school gardens are located and also entities that support school gardens. And I'm pretty sure that there are more that there are more school gardens than this map is showing. But you can use this map to develop partnerships, to find other school garden programs or school garden support organizations to collaborate with, educate your community. This helps your school administrators, parents, local volunteers, district staff, and beyond know where students are growing at their schools. It helps with advocacy and funding. You can leverage the data to advocate for the support of school gardens in your region, including integration into your school district and funding, and also develop an outreach plan. You can identify gaps in access, where the gaps in access exist, and where to focus on outreach and implementation. And that's the school garden map. You can use this um, link to go to that website, or you can look up the School Garden Support Organization Network website. They have it there too. Next slide, please. Finally, Farm to School Spring Eats. Woohoo! Next slide, please. What's in season? Here we go. So we have apples, asparagus, almost getting there. I've already had some. Flowers and plants, fresh herbs, greens, and of course, onions and potatoes. And again, while you're preparing your meals, not only at school, but also at home, remember your local farmers and do whatever you can to support them. Thanks so much. That's all I have.
Thanks so much, Pamela. All right, and then this is the date for our next webinar, Tax Day, April 15th. And then also I was going to hand the floor over to Kala. She was going to present some guidance on FNS 113. It was the USDA memo that was recently released. It was accidentally deleted from our presentation. So, Kala?
Thanks, Alex. Everyone, I think you got a broadcast email last Tuesday regarding this, but we just wanted to give a quick little follow-up regarding the FNS instruction 113-1. This has been removed as a technical guide per USDA. So we sent out kind of a synopsis of what that looks like and some instructions, as well as an updated civil rights procedure for your civil rights binder, folder, whatever you've got. Go ahead and replace your previous version with the one we sent to you guys last Tuesday. And as of right now, we don't have any new guidance from USDA. We were just told to stop using the other one. So we will keep you guys posted when we have the new guidance going forward.
Thanks so much, Kala. All right, and then that's our non-discrimination statement, our contact list, and that concludes our presentation. Folks, I want to open the floor to any questions? Going once, going twice. Is there anything in the chat here?
Alex, in the chat, there's mention that the links in the slideshow are not clickable when doing a screen share, and she asked if the slides are sent out. How else can she get those links?
I can provide those in our broadcast email if they would like. It's for sure. And then it'll also be available on YouTube later today or tomorrow at the latest. Anyone else?
I see oh, okay. Another question. What's the free and reduced percentage for the FFEP program? We start with the highest percentage and work down to 40%.
Righty. Perfect. Anybody else? Oh, we gotta, who would I contact to get new posters? That would be me. Just let me know. It's on the contact list there, or my number, I guess. And let me know how many posters you'd like. Let me post my email in the chat here.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for everything that you do. And I hope you all have a wonderful spring break if you're on it now. Thank you for joining the webinar.
Yes, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all in April.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.